Number 10. Hiccups. You know that feeling when you eat a spicy burrito too fast? Or maybe you just breathe in the wrong direction and suddenly your body starts convulsing like a dying fish? That is a hiccup. It is violent. It is annoying. And scientifically speaking, it is completely stupid. You would think that in the year 2026, with self-driving cars and billionaires trying to colonize Mars, we would know why our diaphragm occasionally decides to punch our lungs, but we don't. The leading theory is actually kind of horrifying. Some evolutionary biologists believe hiccups are a leftover glitch from when our ancestors were amphibians. Basically, we used to be tadpoles. When you are a tadpole, you need to gulp water and push it across your gills without letting it into your lungs. That gulping motion is suspiciously similar to a hiccup. So, when you are sitting in a quiet movie theater trying to impress a date, and you suddenly let out a loud hic, that is just your inner tadpole trying to breathe underwater. Think of it like this. Your body is a brand new iPhone 16, but for some reason, the developers left a line of code in the operating system from a Nokia brick phone from 1998. And every once in a while that code executes, and you look like an idiot. There is no guaranteed off button. Sure, scaring someone or drinking water upside down might stimulate the vagus nerve and stop it, but half the time you just look like an idiot while waiting for your inner fish to calm down. Number 9. The purpose of sleep. Let's be honest. Sleep is a terrible survival strategy. Every night, you go unconscious for 8 hours. You are paralyzed, blind, and completely vulnerable. If you were a caveman, this is the prime time for a saber-toothed tiger to turn you into a midnight snack. From an evolutionary standpoint, sleep is so dangerous that the benefits must be absolutely massive. Otherwise, natural selection would have deleted it millions of years ago. But if you ask a scientist exactly why we sleep, the honest answer is just a shrug. We know what happens if you don't sleep. You hallucinate, your organs fail, and you die. It is like your body has a mandatory shutdown timer. One theory is the synaptic homeostasis hypothesis. That is a fancy way of saying your brain is taking out the trash. During the day, you absorb gigabytes of useless information, memes, traffic signs, the lyrics to a commercial jingle. If you kept all that, your hard drive would crash. So sleep is the janitor coming in to sweep the floors. It's basically like defragmenting an old Windows 95 computer. If you don't do it, the whole system freezes. But here is the creepy part. There is a condition called fatal familial insomnia, where people suddenly lose the ability to sleep. They don't just get tired, they go insane and die within months. Your brain literally eats itself. So, sweet dreams. Number 8. Why we have dominant hands. Look at your hands. They look pretty much the same. Same number of fingers, same opposable thumbs. Yet, if you are right-handed, your left hand is basically a useless piece of meat that can barely hold a fork. About 90% of humans are right-handed. This ratio has been consistent for thousands of years. We know this because cavemen mostly painted on walls with their right hands. But nature usually hates imbalance. In the animal kingdom, most predators are ambidextrous. If a lion hurts its right paw, it just uses the left one to slash your throat, no problem. But humans? If you break your dominant hand, you can't even write your name or brush your teeth without poking your eye out. It makes no sense. Scientists think it might be related to language, which mostly lives in the left side of the brain, the side that controls the right hand. Basically, your brain is too busy talking to itself to bother learning how to use the left hand properly. Think of your non-dominant hand like the vice president. It is technically part of the executive branch, it stands there in the photos, but nobody trusts it to actually push the big red button. And if you are left-handed, congratulations. You are a biological anomaly, or a witch, depending on which century we are currently in. Number 7. The placebo effect. This is the ultimate proof that your brain is a liar. The placebo effect is when you take a sugar pill that does absolutely nothing. But because you believe it's medicine, you actually get better. Your pain vanishes. Your blood pressure drops. Your anxiety clears up. This isn't just positive thinking. It is physiological. Your brain has a secret pharmacy stocked with painkillers and healing chemicals, but for some reason, it keeps the door locked. It refuses to give you the good stuff unless you trick it with a fake pill from a doctor in a white coat. Why does the brain hold out on us? If it can fix the pain, why doesn't it just do it automatically? Why do we need the theater of medicine? It gets darker. There is also the nocebo effect. If you believe something will hurt you, it will. If a doctor tells you a procedure will be painful, you will feel more pain than someone who wasn't told anything, Even if the procedure is identical, you can literally think yourself sick. It's like your body is a car that runs perfectly fine, but the engine won't start unless you verify a CAPTCHA puzzle that says, "I am not a robot." It is a glitch in our software that Big Pharma is very confused by. Number 6. Why we kiss. Next time you are making out with someone, stop for a second and think about what you are actually doing. You are mashing your food holes together. You are exchanging saliva, bacteria, and whatever you ate for lunch. From a hygiene perspective, kissing is absolutely disgusting. There are millions of germs in a single milliliter of spit. If you saw a stranger spit on a table, you would call the health department. But if it's a date, you lean in for a taste. Evolutionary biologists are stumped on why this became a sign of affection. Some think it comes from kiss feeding, where mother birds and ancient humans would chew up food and spit it into their baby's mouth. So, technically, when you kiss your partner, you are subconsciously saying, "I would like to vomit birdseed into your mouth." Romantic, right? Another theory is that it's a taste test. You are sampling their immune system to see if they are a good genetic match. You are basically sniffing the milk carton to see if it's expired before you buy the whole gallon. But the weirdest part, not all cultures do it. Studies show that less than half of all cultures actually kiss romantically. The rest think it's gross. So, statistically, if you think kissing is weird, you are actually in the majority. Number 5. Laughter. Imagine you are an alien visiting Earth. You walk into a comedy club. You see a human standing on stage talking. Suddenly, the entire room of humans starts baring their teeth, convulsing their chests, and making loud, repetitive barking noises. Ha ha ha! If you didn't know what laughter was, you would think it was a mass seizure. Why is that the sound of happiness? Why don't we just glow or hum? Why do we violently exhale air? One theory suggests laughter is a false alarm signal. In the wild, if you heard a twig snap, you froze. If it turned out to be just a squirrel and not a bear, you would let out a breath of relief. That exhalation eventually turned into laughter, to signal to the rest of the tribe, "It's okay, we aren't going to die today." That is why we laugh when people trip and fall but don't get hurt. It is relief. But think about how involuntary it is. You can't tickle yourself. You need someone else to attack your vulnerable spots, your ribs, your neck, to make you laugh. It is a panic response masquerading as joy. Basically, stand-up comedians are just hacking your brain's fight-or-flight system to make you bark like a seal. Number 4. Blushing. Blushing is the only human experience that defeats its own purpose. Imagine you were in a social situation where you messed up. You tripped over your own feet or you called your teacher mom. You want to disappear. You want to blend into the wallpaper. So what does your body do? It floods your face with blood. It turns you into a bright red neon sign that screams, "Look at me, I am embarrassed." Charles Darwin called blushing the most peculiar and most human of all expressions. No other animal does it. A dog might look guilty, but it doesn't turn pink. Why would evolution give us a trait that advertises our vulnerability? Some scientists think it is an appeasement signal. By turning red, you are showing the tribe that you know you messed up. It is a non-verbal apology. It makes people less likely to attack you because you look pathetic. It's like when a dog rolls over and shows its belly. Your face is betraying you to save your life. So the next time you blush in front of your crush, just remember, your body is just trying to stop them from killing you, which arguably makes the date even more awkward. Number 3. Déjà vu. We have all felt it. You walk into a Taco Bell you have never been to, and suddenly, you are hit with a wave of familiarity. You have been here before. You know exactly what the guy at the counter is going to say. It feels like a glitch in the Matrix. Roughly 70% of people experience déjà vu, but science has zero concrete explanation for it. One popular theory is a mismatch in the brain's processing speed. It's possible that one of your eyes records the scene slightly faster than the other. Or your short-term memory accidentally files the moment directly into long-term memory. Think of it like saving a Word document. Usually, you type it, then you save it. Déjà vu is your computer saving the file before you have even typed it. Your brain tells you, "We have this memory on file," even though you are living it right now. But that doesn't explain the spooky feeling that comes with it. The feeling of premonition. The feeling that time is a flat circle. Some theoretical physicists even suggest it could be a momentary crossover with a parallel universe. Maybe in another timeline, you really did order that Crunchwrap Supreme 5 minutes ago. Or maybe, just maybe, You are an NPC in a video game and the server just lagged. Number 2, dreaming. Let's go back to sleep. We talked about why we sleep, but dreaming is a whole different beast. Every night you enter a hallucination where the laws of physics do not apply. You can fly. You can show up to high school naked. You can fight a giant marshmallow. And then you wake up, and within 10 minutes, you forget 95% of it. Why does the brain waste so much energy creating these 4K movies if it deletes them immediately? Freud thought it was repressed desires, but Freud was obsessed with his mother, so we usually ignore him. Modern theories are much stranger. One suggests it is a threat simulation. Your brain is running a virtual reality training program. It throws you into scary situations like being chased or falling so you can practice reacting to danger without actually dying. It is basically a flight simulator for being a human. Another theory is reverse learning. Your brain dreams to forget. It fires off random neural connections to clear out the junk data so you don't obsess over weird details. But the most unsettling thought is that we don't know which reality is the base level. When you are in a dream, you don't know you are dreaming. It feels 100% real until you wake up. So, how do you know you aren't dreaming right now? Maybe this video is just your subconscious trying to wake you up. Wake up! Number 1. Consciousness. Here we are. The big one. The hard problem. Science can explain how your heart pumps blood. It can explain how your neurons fire electricity. It can explain the chemistry of your digestion, but it cannot explain you. I am talking about the voice in your head. The thing that is looking out of your eyes right now. The thing that feels happy or sad or bored. If we are just biological machines made of meat and electricity, why do we have an internal movie playing? A toaster doesn't know it's toasting bread. A Roomba doesn't feel satisfaction when it hits a wall. Why do we feel like we are the pilots of these bodies? There is not a single mile of gray matter in your brain that scientists can point to and say, that is where the person lives. Some scientists think consciousness is an illusion, a trick the brain plays on itself to make sense of the data. Basically, you are not real. You are just the user interface for a very complex biological computer. Others think consciousness is a fundamental property of the universe, like gravity. That everything has a little bit of consciousness, even a rock or an electron. That is called panpsychism. But the scariest option? Solipsism. The idea that you are the only conscious thing in the universe. Everyone else, me, your friends, the people in the comments, we are all just simulations, background characters. You are the only one who is actually here, and you are all alone. So, on that cheerful note, have a great day trying to convince yourself you exist.